I think everybody in the One Piece community can all come together and say that Eustace Captain Kidd, the green deck for OPO1, is probably going to be the best deck of the format. In all of set 1, I truly believe that Kidd is probably going to give you the highest chance of winning. Now, does that mean you're going to automatically win it because you're playing Kidd? No, it's not a tier 0 format. The deck does not play itself. In fact, that's what I like about this game, is that it still takes skill. But with that being said, in this video, I actually want to talk about other reasons why Eustace Kidd is actually very OP, and in my opinion, one of the most broken OP cards in the entire deck, and that is Okiku. When people think of Eustace Kidd decks, they automatically think of 7-drop Kidd or 8-drop Kidd, and rightfully so. Very, very powerful cards that pretty much warp how you have to play the game, because you're only able to attack Eustace Kidd characters, meaning that you can't swing at the leader, and these are characters that have pretty big bodies, meaning that you're going to have to invest a lot of Dawn in order to swing over them and hope that they don't have events or other counters in their hand in order to stop them. But what about the time until they get to be able to drop their 7 and 8 drop Kidds? What about turns 1, 2, 3, etc.? Well, good thing they have the Wano package. The Wano package is green, and the Wano package overall is incredibly powerful. The first card we're talking about is Momonosuke. Any green deck or any deck playing the Wano Country package is going to want to play Momonosuke because he is going to allow you to generate insane value. Being able to look at the top 5 cards of your deck and take any Wano Country type card and add it to your hand, not just character, it could also be event, is very powerful. And of course, the more times that you use it, the more value you get from this card. If you could use it more than once, it's already doing an amazing job. What if I told you that Wano also had a very, very powerful turn 2 play? Look no further than Cat Viper. This is a card, while its body is only 3,000, will require 2 Dawn for it to start swinging into the leader. Its on-play effect is very powerful. You can rest one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. This will get rid of those pesky blockers in the late game, but also in the early game allow you to establish board control. If you go first and you do your turn 1 play, the turn passes back to you. Remember, you can now attack. You are the first person to attack, so go ahead and play that Cat Viper, and whatever character that they play on turn 1, you can go ahead and rest it, swing into your leader, and right off the bat, you're going to have pressure on the board. We all know how powerful 2K counters are, especially with just one set out right now. 2K counters are so strong that there will be people telling you, myself included, that you should play 2K counters in your deck even if you're not able to use the ability. For example, in my Whitebeard deck, I am playing 4 copies of Sanji, not because I want to use his effect and continue to take away more life from myself, but because he's a 2K counter. And this is Izu. Izu has the ability to give you a 2K counter, but on top of that, has the ability to rest one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. Again, there's a lot of very valuable cards that are 4 or less that will be annoying for you to go up against, where if you can just go ahead and set them to rest and swing over them, they're no longer a problem. Now, of course, ideally you want to keep Izu in your hand for reasons that I just previously mentioned, but it's also nice to know that you have another tool in your disposal to play to be even more annoying and be even more oppressive. A card that has started off pretty underrated, but very rapidly a lot of people are seeing how much value you can get out of this card, and of course being part of the Wano package, is Rizo. Now, obviously, he does not have blocker anywhere on this card, but for me and a couple of my friends, we've been talking about him as kind of like a pseudo blocker in the sense of once he's on the board, once he's on the field, you have to get rid of him. And it's quite simply because he only needs 1 Dawn before he can start swinging into the opposing leader. And when he does, if you have 2 or more rested characters, you can draw 1 card. And obviously, the way you want to play and set up your board in order to capitalize on Rizo, you ideally want to have another card rested. You want to attack first with another character that he can go ahead and swing with Rizo. Rizo becomes rested. You now have 2 or more rested characters. You can draw 1 card. Your opponent is going to have to deal with Rizo, because if not, you are adding an additional card to your hand every turn. And at first glance, it's like, it's not that bad. He's only 4K power. So what? He's drawing 1 card. That 1 card can be a Love Beam. That 1 card could be a 2K counter. That 1 card that they're drawing could be the card that they need in order to beat you on their next turn. So Don't underestimate Rizo. This is a card that definitely generates a ton of value the longer it's on the board. And like I like to say, it is a pseudo blocker because once it's on the board, your opponent is going to have to use one of the attacks on Rizo instead of you. Alright, let's waste no more time and talk about the most broken card in the entire game. Okay, no, I'm joking. I'm actually joking, guys. I don't think Okiku's the strongest card in the entire game. I think one can make an argument for it, but I think we can all agree that Okiku is one of the strongest cards in the entire game. In fact, the only thing that makes Okiku not absolutely broken is the fact that it doesn't have a counter. Could you imagine if Okiku had a 1000 counter? Of course, you want on the field, but if Okiku had a counter in hand as well, what if had a 2K counter? Oh my god, then it would just be absolutely like 0 tier broken. But again, we're not talking about that. Let's talk about what Okiku actually is. So it's a 3-drop, so you can play it very, very early in the game and start pressuring your opponent. It's a 3-drop with a power of 5,000, meaning that you could start applying pressure to your opponent as soon as she is on board. With 1 Dawn attached, when attacking, you can rest one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. This is so huge. There's so many strong 5-drops in the game, and being able to just automatically rest them is absolutely huge because now you can just start swinging into them. If you have Okiku on the board before they have a 5-drop on the board, you're already in an extremely advantageous situation because think about it. They have their character on board, and if it doesn't have rush, like 5-drop Luffy, for example, you know, you exclude him. If it's a card like, I don't know, Basil Hawkins, which a lot of people are playing, which is a really good card, all of a sudden, they're not going to be able to utilize him because you're just going to start swinging over him with Okiku when it passes back to your turn because, oh, sorry, he's rested. Time for me to punch him in the mouth by attaching a bunch of Dawn to my Okiku. And if not, go ahead, raise the resources in your hand to keep him alive. You can definitely do that. What if you have 2 Okikus on board? Okiku is just so strong because she's so versatile. Has the ability to go ahead and rest blockers, but then on top of that, be able to deal with a lot of the problematic cards that we have right now. Be it Luffy, be it Basil Hawkins. There's so many good 5-drop or less cards that Okiku can just basically turn off and allow you to swing over and get rid of them, which then allows you to scale into your late game, be able to play your 7-drop kid, be able to play your 8-drop kid, right? If you're playing those decks. So all in all, Okiku is a card that is just so strong, so powerful. The only thing in my mind that holds Okiku back from being absolute Z tier broken card, of course, is not having a 2K counter. If I had a 2K counter, this card would just be absolutely busted. But with that being said, that is the Wano package. These are all cards that are amazing in my opinion, and because of that, I feel like with more support, which we know we're guaranteed to get because we're getting Kinemon as a leader in set 2, it's only going to get better. And that's why Kinemon is probably the set 2 leader that I'm most excited to play. Obviously, I made my video on Magellan. We'll see what ends up happening if my theory is correct with the Blackbeard stuff. Right now, it's not looking too hot, but we'll see what happens. But outside of that, I'm super excited for Kinemon, and this is the reason why. The Wano package is so strong. Okiku is so strong, and going forward, it looks like these cards are still going to be powerful. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Do you guys think I'm just dumb out of my mind? You guys think I'm overrating these cards? What are your thoughts on the Wano package? What are your thoughts on Okiku? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend. It would mean a lot because if you don't do it, your devil fruit is gonna get yoinked. Hey man, I'm Blackbeard TCG. It is what it is. Catch you guys later. Peace out.